so much brighter there. You can't forget all your troubles, forget all your cares, so go downtown.
No, nobody goes
Things
there.
will be great when you're downtown.
Especially not the office
No
buildings.
better place for sure downtown.
No, Petula, not anymore.
Everything's waiting
No.
for you.
Nothing's waiting for you.
Wow, some dirt is waiting for
Yeah.
you. Some
Thank you,
hassles
Petula.
trying to find
Petula
parking.
Clark. So we talked about what's going on in terms of retail stores. There's a really interesting report, though, from the Altus Group. And this was part of a meeting, by the way, they had in Montreal only last week during something called a Montreal Real Estate Strategy Conference, kind of highlighting how difficult the situation is in office buildings in town. And if you look at the worst case scenario, their projection is that you could get as high as 33.7% by 2028 for vacancy rates in office building. That's if a worst case scenario plays out. We wanted to find out more. Jean-Francois Grenier is Senior Director at the Altus Group, who put this report together. Monsieur Grenier, thanks for being here this afternoon.
Thank you. No problem.
I cited a worst case scenario. I know that's not likely what's going to happen, but what's the middle ground here? What are you projecting will happen as far as downtown office buildings are concerned?
Well, actually, the office availability is around 18.8. We did 3 forecasts for 2028. So the lowest one is 25.9, something like that. The highest one is 33.7, like you just said. And we believe, and the middle one is around 29%. So we believe that in reality, it's going to be between probably 25 and 29, which is still important because there's about 50 million square feet of office, different class of office in downtown Montreal. And if you have 30% that are available, it's a lot. It's going to create, it's going to create less revenue for the city because the value will go down. And don't forget that 18% of all the budget of the city of Montreal is coming from l'arrondissement Ville-Marie, from non-residential. It's not only office, it's retail, it's other thing, but 18% of all the budget is coming from the taxe foncière, the real estate taxes from l'arrondissement Ville-Marie. It's a lot, so it's going to go down. And the other thing is that because you have 33%, or you're going to have, let's say, 25 or 30% of availability, it's already impacting a lot the number of daytime workers downtown that were spending a lot of money in restaurant and shop, and they are not there on the same basis anymore.
So I know part of your study also looks at them, at workers, never mind just office space. What did your survey tell you about those people who are coming back, how much time they're spending from home, et cetera?
Well, people in downtown, I mean, we did a survey on 1,000 people. They're not all working downtown, but 1,000 Montrealers in the Montreal CMA. A bunch of them were working previously downtown, and typically, I mean, we're going to go on a hybrid situation for office worker for sure, and not only downtown, everywhere in office. So people typically they want to go anywhere between 2 or 3 days per week at the office. Mm-hmm. So when you go on, I don't know, Monday and Friday, it's dead downtown. More people on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but I mean, and even if the percentage is actually 18.8% of vacancy, I mean, availability in office downtown, I'm sure that several days there's about, I don't know, maybe 30% of the previous daytime worker before COVID. Mm-hmm. There were 250,000 people working daily downtown before COVID. We're probably at best day around 100,000, 150. So it's a lot.
Yeah. We spoke to a listener earlier who's been working downtown for 34 years, who said she has never, ever seen it this bad, just the state of downtown. And I'm thinking the fact that downtown is in such rough shape probably makes people who, are doing a hybrid model, like you touched on, not even want to go downtown to work anymore. Like there used to be an appeal. That has changed. Did you see any numbers?
Definitely, it has changed. I mean, and mainly I would say the millennials and the younger generation, I mean, now COVID was, it was over 2 years. So people developed new skill. And I mean, that situation was already there before COVID. I mean, not to that extent, but people were already working remotely. At let's say 6-7% of them were working remotely or working one day, per 2 weeks from home or from somewhere else. But and the technology is there. I mean, don't forget that now with the web, with Teams, with Zoom, you can work from anywhere. So a lot of people say, what's the point of going downtown? And a lot of company renovate their spaces, to make them more cozy,
more appealing.
Arranging event more, but even that, I mean, if you have to commute, let's say an hour and 15 minutes in the morning and the same thing at night, I mean, it's a lot. So people
Absolutely.
It is.
don't want to do that.
I'm curious too, with respect to rents. So I know where we are, where we're obviously hurting here. What about Toronto, Vancouver, the other big office real estate markets in the country? Are we competitive?
In terms of rent per square foot, it's cheaper in Montreal compared to Toronto and Vancouver. But on the other end, the availability is higher in Montreal compared to Toronto and Vancouver. But don't forget, Toronto has in downtown over 100 million square feet of retail. So in terms of square footage, you have a lot more space to rent in Toronto compared to Montreal. But on a percentage basis, it's worse, a little bit worse in Montreal.
Vacancy-wise?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I was wondering.
I wonder, too, though, if that's the case, we're not seeing anything, or are we, in the way of new construction downtown? Is that game over?
Oh, I think it's the game is over for new office. I mean, the last building were, National Bank and stuff like that. There's 3 projects that are not rented, and I don't think they're going to go up. It's just like there's no construction for office, no demand for office downtown. And don't forget that the rent for a new building is around 33% over and above what is existing. The other thing is that I'm going to tell you is that in Montreal, the best office, the AAA office like the 1000 La Gauchetière or the 1250 René Lévesque, the availability, vacancy rate is much lower. It's 5, 6, 7%. So people are moving from B office or A office
to better space,
to in a smaller space, but better amenities, better, I mean, it's just like, so that's a trend that we see in Montreal and we see in most of North American cities.
Which kind of brings you to that conversion, right? Where they're talking about taking those B-class or C-class spaces and turning them into residential conversions, possibly.
Low-cost housing.
Yeah, I think we will probably see a little bit of that, but not to a large extent because it's very expensive. I know that they did that in Calgary, like before COVID, because they had the oil industry was down and offices were empty. But seriously, I mean, we have a cost department, and the cost of transforming an office to residential is about the same per square foot compared to building a new one.
Really? Wow.
So we will probably see some of them that's going to be converted to residential, but I don't forecast a lot of, and it's going to depend a lot on the type of building. When you have a 20,000 floor plate on each floor, you have to put plumbing for, let's say, I don't know, 15 residential. Actually, there's only per floor, woman toilet and men's toilet. I mean, it's
complicated, yeah.
Not as easy as it sounds.
But this idea, Monsieur Grenier, this idea that we are still in post-pandemic recovery somehow, that things were that we're on the cusp of things getting better, that's simply not the case, is it? It's not going to get better. This is our new reality.
Oh, this is our new reality. I'm quite sure of that. And don't forget that there's a lack of employee. I mean, it's just like people, when they're not happy, they're going to say, well, you want me to work 3 days per week at the office? Okay, I'm going to find another job where I can work remotely 4 times a day, not 4 times a week.
Yeah, we see that all the time.
Yes.
Monsieur Grenier, I want to thank you so much. It's fascinating stuff. I wish I could say it was good news. It's obviously not good news, but let's hope the worst case scenario turns out to be just that, the worst case, and we don't end up there. Thank you so much for your time. Very much appreciate it.
You're welcome. Have a nice evening.
You too.
You too.
So there you go. What do you think? Huh? A little eye-opening?
Yeah, well, like I said, I feel like everybody was still like, "Oh no, it's just post-pandemic. We're on the cusp of things getting better." And no,
God, I was so wrong. I thought it would take, 6 months, a year. It's 3 years later. Not better at all.